What's good, gamers? It's your boy Stevie Blender back again with another cooking video. Today we're going to be cooking ourselves some budget bangers and mash. Now this isn't actually bangers and mash, the actual recipe, but this is more just like a substitute variation. Now if you're wondering how I'm recording this using, two hands, the magic is that I used my phone tripod, wrapped it around my neck, and I'm using the third arm as like a stabilizer on my chest. So this feels really fucking awkward, but I heard about using it in this method from a Uber video. How many gold potatoes can I eat? 4? 5? Who knows? Probably like 5. 5 seems like a good number. I don't know how many potatoes I can eat. I like potatoes. No, this is gonna be like so weird to peel. It's been a while since no, it's not even been a while since I peeled these. It just looks really awkward from this angle. Should actually pretty dark. Turn the lights on a bit. Yeah, not a lot of this is not even going to be talking. But as far as I know, bangers and mash is a traditional Irish dish, as far as I'm aware, where you have sausage and mashed potatoes. And that's about it. Wow, this peeler is really nice compared to my old one, because I just bought it. I'm really slow on it, because obviously I'm trying to like keep it pretty steady in terms of the camera, as well as my hands, and not accidentally slice a finger open. These things are pretty sharp. One thing you should always do in the kitchen is work with sharp tools, as well as make sure you know how to handle these sharp tools, because in the kitchen things are moving really fast. There's a lot of things that you may not be familiar with, and you want to make sure that the tools that you have are able to accommodate for that environment. So if you're in a fast environment, use the best tools that you got, and that includes having a sharp knife. Additionally, having a sharp tool, or just like sharp tools in general, decreases. I'm peeling these like really terribly, but like I don't really care, because again, I'm just vibing. I'm just making this for myself. You really want to be careful with sharp tools. Oh, if you're wondering what that sound on in the background, it's my water boiler. That's just how I heat stuff up. And by stuff I mean water. Whenever I need water for like pasta or like instant noodles, like that's honestly like a lifesaver. Like it just does it a lot faster than a normal person can, like a normal stove can. At least that's what I think in theory. I should probably do like a side-by-side test, but I think it's just because it's a mini electric stove, it's like a bit faster compared to like the normal gas. But basically, if you have a sharp tool, one of the major things is that it decreases the risk of slippage. And if I had to describe slippage, I can actually show you, because I actually have a knife next to me. Well, let's say you're like chopping along, you're just like, haha. You're just like, haha, haha, and then like, you're trying to like push down, then it just like slips, because your knife is either like really dull or whatever, and you're just like, oh no, that's really bad, obviously, because then you just slice a finger open. Fortunately, I do keep all my tools pretty sharp. Fuck. Whoops, that's gotta go in here. It's like I'm seeing through a third set of eyes. How do I describe this as? It's like I'm playing a first-person video game. Like an FPS in VR. Except it's just like a little bit fuckier. Is this properly peeled? Probably. But yeah, that's like obviously one of the major things of slippage. Like you just don't want to accidentally like rip your hand off or like cut a finger off. Always be sure to wash your hands before handling anything. I should probably have included the footage of me washing my hands, but I think I was like busy putting water on the boil. Also, another major thing, always have bowls around to catch any loose garbage or whatever. Wow, this shit feels so weird to pick up. Always have bowls or whatever just around just in case. To, you know, just collect your garbage in whenever you're cooking. It just makes cleanup go a lot faster. And I really enjoy just having everything out at once. Again, very like mise en place. Except with my literal garbage. Garbage en place. I don't know how to say garbage in French. Wow, that doesn't look very appetizing. Let's just skin the shit out of it off. I don't know what that is. Potato blight? I don't think Ireland exists anymore. Wow, there's a lot of like spots on this potato. That's more or less everything. So potatoes usually take about 10 to 15, like 20 minutes to boil. The skins are actually completely nutritious. I just personally don't really want them in this specific mash because I'm going to be doing a pro gamer strat. Again, if you ever want to like hold your knife, this isn't my actual knife. Like this is just like the knife that I have at my parents' house. There's like some JK Heckles or something. I don't remember the brand name off the top of my head, but I like these knives just because like they're pretty cheap. And wow, fuck. And like I like the balance. I've just always been using them because my parents make me cook sometimes. If you ever want to know, you don't really have to do the claw. Like I mean, like in a restaurant setting, like you should for obvious reasons because like you're gonna be like going through like 50 fucking onions a day. Like 50 pounds worth of onions in a day and just like going through a lot of shit. But at home, the only thing you should really know how to do is hold it. And that should be done by taking like at the edge of the hilt where like you actually grasp the blade with your index and your thumb. And more or less you just 1, 2 and your thumb and like the rest of your fingers should just like fall into place. And it should be like really easily balanced. That's why like I'm able to just like very easily just like spin this around, like it's pretty standard. And then you could just use the weight of the knife and you can handle that. I don't want them too small because I am going to be putting through our secret ingredient tool later, which we will be using later. If you want to know how to cut potatoes, just more or less just into like manageable sized pieces. Obviously don't want them too big, otherwise as long as they're all like relatively the same size. Like this I'm going to cut into quarters. Instead of just, into eighths, instead of just quarters. Because I want them all to be boiled at the same time, and I don't want some to just be like turned into complete mush. Whereas some are just still like a bit like firmer. The water is just about done boiling by the time I finish chopping these potatoes. That's really good. I should have a pot somewhere around here. There we go. Let's go with this one. The surface area is a lot bigger, so it should be a lot easier for it to boil. So this just got finished boiling, which is really nice. Then I could just and this additionally cuts down a lot of the waste work of having to like guess how much water we need to put in, and that there's like not a lot of time wasted like spilling. That made no sense. It saves us a bit of time when it comes to actually whatever, getting our shit prepared. So I prefer my mashed potatoes a very specific way, and by very specific I mean pretty standard. Salted, shit ton of butter. I actually like to prefer to add in all the seasoning at the end. Call me the Adam Raguzia's #1 most hated man because I'm a huge fan of homogeneity in my food. So we still have these bowls out. Obviously, whenever you're not using whatever, just put it back wherever. Alright, we have a good amount of butter. This should satisfy my need. How many tablespoons? 1, 2, like 3 tablespoons. Like 3.5, I'm not really sure. Debating just using the whole stick. But I am one man. Wow, that hit my phone. That could not have sounded nice. Anything else I can put in here? Probably garlic. Call me a heretic, but I'm a huge fan of this type of garlic. Don't get me wrong, I fully understand that fresh peeled garlic should first and foremost be the first thing on your mind. But I'm lazy. Like I'm not like fresh peeled garlic obviously has like the best flavor and whatever, but I'm just like a dude who just wants to eat some whatever. Like I just want to eat some potatoes or some pasta. Like at a reasonable time, and not have to waste like hours of my life just like peeling garlic. And because it's also because I eat a lot of garlic. Like I put this in my scrambled eggs. I should probably make a video on that. I like cooking scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs are pretty nice. Scrambled eggs are probably the most cooked food I've ever made, right behind like steak. Mainly just because they're so easy to make, as well as they're just so delicious. There's so many ways to prepare scrambled eggs that it's not just like one defined method. I just realized that like I'm kind of like the main guy who's like eating most of these. Most of this garlic. We're gonna have a pretty big portion for ourselves. Like this is a lot of potatoes, so let's probably do like 2 cloves each per potato. That sounds like a pretty decent amount. If you see like a bit of waste, that's because, again, I can't really fucking see what I'm doing. I'm not exactly like looking at the cutting board. I'm looking at the phone, which is around my neck on the cutting board, which makes things really vertigo, and I'm going to throw up later. Looks like everything. Honestly, you could probably put the rest of the garlic in. Not really too much. I've heard people say like, oh, you should only use like 1 clove of garlic for like an entire recipe. Wow, that's just a shitty head of garlic. Yeah, that's more or less everything. Like, there's a bit of waste, but oh well. Probably get better with that. I'm not really trying to like make anything super fancy here. Like, I just want to eat some good food. See, it's already boiling. I mean, it was boiling earlier, but we managed to offset a lot of that time with our normal procedures. Where is my garlic crusher? Here it is. I should probably get a better one, but this one I think I got at IKEA when I was like 12. I gotta pretend like I'm loading a gun. This is literally what like saves my life. Like just pre-peeled garlic, and then just like, put it through the garlic crusher. Just instant way to get a shit ton of garlic flavor. Or literal garlic. Jesus, what am I even talking about? We're just gonna let the garlic and the butter get to know each other. Again, obviously, fresh peeled garlic is obviously the best, but again, I'm just cooking for myself. I'm not trying to impress anyone. Except maybe strangers on the internet. Just load the gun. Alright, that seems like a pretty reasonable amount of garlic. That's that. Be sure to thank the garlic gods for their sacrifice, their children. Always be sure to get that these little skins on top. Still completely edible, just a bit stringier. But I mean, it's all going into the same place anyways. My stomach, Lamau. So we're just gonna leave the butter out. We're gonna leave this bowl here. Now we get some sausages. Ideally, these should be like traditional Italian, or like some Irish like banger, or like whatever. I've never actually been to Ireland, unfortunately. One day though. Vlad, I love you. But we can just cook some of these. I'm not actually too hungry. Maybe I could eat like 2 or 3 sausages. Another thing about at-home cooking is that you can always just make more for yourself, which is always nice. You are the sole determinant of how much whatever you need. Why is a random starch just like stuck to this? That's weird. Alright, I personally like a higher sloped pan, just because it makes cleanup a lot easier, even though like it doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter. I just like a higher slope pan because yeah, mainly just it makes cleanup a ton easier, and I don't really have to think about it. Because I put a lid on it anyways, because my house has really bad... My house's fans are not amazing, so circulation is a bitch. Let's do that. Do that, do that. So we're just gonna let that heat up for a bit. I like using olive oil the best, because it tastes the best in my opinion. It's also apparently healthy for some reason. Ah, fuck, I probably should have put this knife away. Is there any way I could like break into the packaging with my finger? Probably not handle that with my raw hands. Probably about 2 sausages should be enough. 2 sausages is enough, but 2 sausages feels like a bit too little. But 3 is definitely overkill. So that olive oil is starting to smoke. I can kind of smell it. Alright, just let these guys dance in the pan a bit. Alright, and we let them cover. Now I know that they're not supposed to be covered properly because like something, like evaporation, pickles, and I'm just like, bro, I just want to eat some food. Again, wash your hands frequently. I always have a ton of kitchen towels just like lying around, just so I always have something to whatever. Wipe my hands on instead of having to like wipe it on my clothes, which could lead to cross-contamination, which is obviously really bad. Might lower the fire a bit. Give those a bit more time to cook properly. How are the potatoes doing? I think they're doing alright. Fuck, I need my knife again. Easiest way to tell when a potato is done doing, when a potato's done, is if you can just like stick a knife through it with no resistance. It still feels like pretty resisty. I can't find a potato. Oh, yeah, that's... Honestly, it's getting there. Maybe like 5 more minutes. Again, these are just my personal knives, so not too worried about anything. We're gonna use our secret ingredient. This is called a potato ricer. If you want to think of it, this is like the world's shittiest cheese grate. It's not very interesting. It's grates potatoes. You put softened potatoes inside of it, and yeah, that's about it. It's not very interesting, but it will give you some of the creamiest, most smooth, spotless potatoes that you've ever seen. Some people say that like mashed potatoes should be lumpy. Some people say that they shouldn't. I say why not both? I personally really like both variants, but to each their own. I just like this variant a bit more. And also because I don't own a potato masher, weirdly enough. I think someone at my workplace stole it. Because I brought it in. It's a bit burnt, but I kind of like burnt. Someone at my old workplace at Trader Joe's, I think they stole it. And I was just like, well, that's pretty shitty, but like, what am I gonna do now? And then I was just like, oh, just like I guess now is just the perfect excuse to buy a ricer, so I got one. It was really neat. Hell yeah. Well, these just make sure to wash everything. I wonder if you're done yet. It's getting there. No, it just is there. It's not even getting there. It just has arrived. Alright. Let's grab our sieve. Since I'm hoping these have arrived. Probably should have cut these up into smaller pieces, if I'm being honest. No, they seem to be falling apart. That's pretty good. Fuck, where's my bowl? I need to put a place for these guys. Well, I guess this is where the second bowl like comes back into play. God damn it. Shouldn't have put this away. Oh well. A couple seconds off my back. It's not a big deal. Those guys are cooking nice along. So here's how we use a ricer. I'm gonna give you a hint. It's just a giant garlic press. God, this feels so fucking weird to do in third person. And in first person through like a camera lens. Do that. Do that. Then you just squeeze. And that is pure potato puree. Not literally. But it is potato-y. Because it's literally potatoes. Whatever. God. You know what? This is just the easiest way for me to do it. It's not exactly the safest way or the most hygienic ways, but again, I'm only cooking for myself. And you guys have seen me wash my hands like 30 fucking times. I'm gonna actually turn the gas off for that. I'm just gonna let the residual heat cook it through. Maybe 5 potatoes is a bit too much. You guys think so? Ouch. Ouchie. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I don't have small tongs. I mean, I do, but I'm just too lazy to grab them. So I'm just gonna burn my fingertips instead. Eee. Now that it's more or less like halfway buried, we take our butter and garlic mixture and just sort of just gently caress it in. I'm gonna leave that bowl there because I know I'm gonna fucking need it later for something, even if I may not see it now. My food, maybe? Who knows? Just get that all in there. Whee! Should be it. That is our mashed potatoes. May not look like mashed potatoes right now, but well, fuck, some of it's spilling over because I can't see. God damn it. With a little adjustment, thanks to our favorite boy, rubber spatula. And a bit of milk and salt. I have fancy salt, but I'm way too lazy, so we're just gonna do like probably like 9-10 grinds. 10 grinds seems about right. Like 2 grinds per potato. The potatoes are pretty bland. You can also spice up potatoes like a lot of different things, like cayenne powder, curry powder, more butter. Like literally, potatoes are the blank slate of starches. Buttermilk is also really nice. Do I have actual milk? Yes, I do. I'm actually gonna put an egg in there just so that it's a bit more gluey. I'm not actually sure if that does anything, but you do it for whatever that Italian dish is called in the sauce. I'm just gonna put a little bit in. Again, we can always put in more if we want. Again, you can always put in more if we need to. And we can always put in less. Now, eating a raw egg is obviously like not the best, like health-wise, because salmonella is a thing. But most eggs are pretty pasteurized, so it's really up to you. And now just watch as it all folds together. The butter melts. It's just so very nice. Ooh, look at that. No lumps, all smooth. Don't stir it too hard because you're going to agitate the starches and it's going to become a bit too gluey. But just, ooh, look at that. Give it a taste. Perfect. Obviously, you can put like some like whatever it's called. Put like onions in your potatoes. Green onion is actually really nice. I highly recommend that if you haven't tried it already. It's a bit strong in my opinion, but it's got a really nice flavor that I don't mind exploring every once in a while. I just look how it all comes together in this beautiful, just like white mash. And I'm not gonna bother making a gravy. In my opinion, gravy kind of takes away from the ow, it burns. In my opinion, gravy also kind of takes away from the potato in the sense of where, like, sure, you could like season the potato like really nicely, got all these nice accoutrements inside of it, and then you just pile a shit ton of like meat gravy onto it, and that kind of takes away from it, in my opinion. It's nice. Fuck. You pick that up later. And by later, I mean now. If you can't stick to a short-term tiny goal for 1 second of your time, then how do you think you're ever going to accomplish your long-term goals, you know? If you can't pick up one garbage thing, if you can't do like 10 minutes of just washing some dishes when you really need to, then what makes you think you're ever going to accomplish anything real in life, you know? And that took about 30 minutes to make this pretty nice meal. And again, I'm moving at a lot slower pace because, again, I do have a fucking tripod around my neck. But genuinely, again, this is just proof that literally anyone can cook. This is a very simple meal. It didn't really take a whole lot. Maybe like one random tool, being the ricer, and maybe the water kettle if you really want to nitpick. But this really wasn't a high intensity meal. This is kind of just like a thing. And now I'm going to eat this, and none of you guys can stop me. This has been Bangers and Mash by Stevie Blender. The white people version. Wait, no. The budget Americanized college student version. I'm hungry. I think the only thing I ate today was inside the sausage looks a bit raw. Probably should cook it a bit more. They don't really bother checking the temperature. It's a bit red. Ozzy thought these things would cook a lot better. Oh well. Honestly, I don't mind just eating some potatoes while we're waiting. Really fluffy. You notice how like, oh, you can really taste the garlic in that. You can really notice how smooth it is, just falls over. You really taste the garlic in that. Could use a bit more salt. Maybe honestly could use a bit of lemon. Who knows? I know. I'm the one who made this dish. In the conceptual sense, not the literal sense. Alright, these should be properly cooked now after just blasting them on high. Wow, I'm really thirsty. Hot. Mmm. Amazing. All the fat that just like erupts from the sausage just sort of pours it back into the potato. And the potato just wraps it up so nicely. Delicious. I'm trying to get a lot more sort of variety kind of videos. I don't really like making video content 24/7. It's fun in its own way, but it's kind of repetitive. You can only talk so much about Invoked. We're dinosaurs. This feels very, it just feels very repetitive at a certain point. Yeah, 3 sausages would have definitely been way too much. 2. 2 is perfect. Especially with the amount of potatoes that I ate. If you guys are trying to like adjust for this at home, to take into consideration, I work out daily, even though I don't really look it. But I work out pretty often, 5'10" on like a good day, 165 pounds. This was about 4 to 5 gold potatoes. And these are about 2 sausages. So probably for like the average person, maybe like 3 potatoes and 2 sausages. I just eat a lot more potato than normal people do. Because I really like potatoes. And I know how I like my potatoes. Mm. Again, it's really good. Maybe I can do like a light gravy next time, but nothing too strong because I don't want the taste of the potatoes to just be completely drowned in just this pool of sauce, which admittedly is like very good, but if it's just this pool of sauce where I don't really get a lot of any of the actual meal outside of like, yep, that's potato, yep, that's sausage, yep, that's gravy, then I feel like it's kind of wasted, you know? Should all complement each other. Nothing should really overshadow one another. And with something that's like basic as potatoes, very, very, or admittedly bland as potatoes, it's very, very easy for it to get overshadowed. Nice. Going forward, would definitely probably cut a potato. I can eat 5 potatoes, but I definitely can't eat just like a potato on its own. I guess this is where the gravy would have come in. Really good meal. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, just let me know if you guys want more of these cooking videos in the future. Wow, those were words that came out of my mouth. Yeah, just let me know if you guys want more of these sort of cooking videos in the future. And until next time, yeah, I'll see you.